Grace and peace, family. Grace and peace. Assalamu alaikum. Shalom. My hotel. Namaste. Free the land, beloved. Come on in, come on in, come on in. I am so pleased to be with you today here on the Vicki Show on my own personal platform at VickiDillard.tv. Thank you so much for joining me today, dear family. Beloved, please let everybody know, especially those of you that are used to seeing me for other platforms that I've helped to build over the years. Some of you are used to seeing me there, but let everybody know that if they want to watch me live on a weekly basis, that they can come here, beloved, and watch me here on my own channel now, VickiDillard.tv. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thumbs up on the count of three, family. On the count of three, for those of you that haven't, please hit that thumbs up button, would you? Okay. I have a little bit of a ritual. It's so good to see some of you coming in. On the count of three. On the count of three, if you haven't, please hit that thumbs up button. Are you ready? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up, thumbs up. Share, 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 share. Share, share, share. Share, 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 share. Thank you so much for tuning in to the Vicki Show, family. I just want to briefly come in and give you a brief political drive-by. Talk black to me, somebody. I wanted to come on in briefly today and give you a drive-by with all of the goings on. Of course, we knew to expect during this particular time, family, that there was going to be some outrageous drama, that there was going to be a whole lot more politicking coming from all sides. But of course, you all know that because the Black family tends to get the Democrat Party our votes, we're giving them this everlasting work in a way that we don't do the Republicans at this point, because we're giving power to the Democrat Party to actually change our condition. And the Democrat Party is showing and proving to us in no limited time that they have absolutely no intentions whatsoever to do right by us. Talk black to me, somebody. Are y'all hearing me today? So, family, we are seeing these major shifts in politics. And the reason why we're seeing these major shifts, shout out to our moderators in the building, Miss Sharif and my brother Warren. Family, our moderators are those that are highlighted in blue. They're going to be chatting with you from time to time and putting important information in the chat for you. So make sure that you shout out our moderators with your family and be sure to pay close attention to some of the information that they're putting in. I see some of you all piling on in, family. Thank you so much for joining me today at VickiDillard.tv. Be sure you subscribe. Y'all, I cannot believe it. We hit 63,000. How can you? I cannot believe, so many years I've helped to build so many other platforms, bring credibility, extraordinary profit, and I use all of my magic for everybody but me. But over the past bit of time, I've been giving more attention to my platform here. Of course, you can still see some of my content on other platforms, but there have been some changes. But thank you all so much for supporting me. We hit 63,000 subscribers here on my personal channel. Isn't that absolutely amazing? I love y'all so much. Family, right now, I want you to make sure that you are registered for my Lionsgate portal. How many of y'all ever heard about this Lionsgate portal? Lionsgate is a very auspicious celestial date. It is August 8, 2024. True Seeking said, "You are a stunning sister." Thank you so much, precious. August 8th. You all, that is going to be on a Thursday, but I'm doing a free webinar. Somebody say free. Somebody say absolutely no obligation. This is my offering to the family for some of you all to attend my high level webinar. You do not want to miss it. I don't care if you got to work. Go ahead and start taking your time off now. Put in your sick leave. If you're supposed to be babysitting that day, tell somebody else to do it. Talk black to me, somebody. Pay somebody else to do it. If it's your birthday, go to brunch. But spend your birthday with me in the evening times. I am so clear on the power of what I'm going to share with you because it's not coming from me. And it has to do with you building an extraordinary life and power to remake your world and to shape the world. So the information I'm going to give you is practical information on how you can turn your house into a divine portal so that we can wield power in our political system. How many of you all know we're not going to change our condition because just by voting? Somebody talk black to me. How many of you all know that whenever a knucklehead comes out here and make you believe, black family, that it is our job to just vote as if that was goddess's gift for us to shape the world as a voting? What were we doing when we were enslaved and couldn't vote? What were we doing when we were out of chattel slavery and under convict leasing? What were we doing when we were under the black codes? What were we doing when we were under Jim Crow? Did that mean we were nobodies? Did that mean we didn't matter to the world? No. We have to learn how to wield power in a different way. And one of our most extraordinary powers is first our spiritual power. Baby, we go dark on them. We take it offline. And then we affect the world around us. It doesn't matter what your religion is. It doesn't matter what your spiritual system is. You can learn and you can glean from the information I'm going to share. This is the sacred secret that the powers that shouldn't be don't want you to know. They want to put a whole lot of pressure, in particular on black people. You don't see them putting this kind of pressure on Asian people, Hispanic people, LGBTQ, white folks. You don't see them putting pressure on voting to other groups like they do us. your Cash App gift is blessed 1,000-fold. The Aya 7 said, I'm registered. I know that's right, precious. So I don't care what you got going on. I'm talking about mark your calendars, set your alarms. Do not miss this. I had a whole lot of people that signed up last time, and almost 1,000 people showed up. We had more than double that registered. Some of y'all came back to me later begging, pleading, Vicki, please do the replay. Let me tell you something. I want to hear that. If it's meant for you to be there, you'll be a part of it live. Do not miss it. I'm trying to let you all know, when you're dealing with an illegitimate system, when the current powers in the United States who are quickly falling and failing, the way they get you to believe that the system is still legit is to get you involved in it. So when stuff happens, they'll make you think you had something to do with it. But if you withdraw your magic, if you withdraw your voting, and you realize that by you collaborating and getting on code with other black folks, by you wielding other power, other economic power, other social power in different ways, you might come to a different conclusion. So they put a whole lot of pressure on you to vote and stuff, because if you disconnect, you may actually make the connection that your life is actually getting better and it can improve, even if you don't give an illegitimate system legitimacy. Did you catch what I said? Black folks, our magic is unlike anybody else's. That's why the pressure is so tough on us. We don't want to make stuff go viral. We're the ones that animate stuff. When we get involved in stuff, there's a level of legitimacy that automatically comes with it. Now, let me tell you something. Because America is devilish, Derek, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Because America is devilish and the powers that shouldn't be are falling. Somebody say, not us, though. See, our time is just now coming. Because they know that they're trying to hold on to us and squeeze our magic and squeeze our energy and squeeze our spiritual power. Why? Because how many of you all know that there's a such thing as life support? I'm going to move on to my topic in a minute. Miss Sharifa told me to preach. I'm going to preach for this. Give me 1 minute. How many of y'all know what life support is? How many of y'all have ever seen someone's organs and vital signs fail, but the hospital hook them up on a machine to artificially keep them alive until their organs and until their system starts to catch on? Talk black to me, somebody. See, that's what you do, black family, when you connect with the powers that shouldn't be. You give them life support. So when we withdraw ourselves and when we withdraw our vote strategically until they push what we tell their funny looking selves to push, we don't give them life support anymore. And why in the world would we want to give life support to a government that's responsible for the murders of our mothers and fathers? If they're not trying to make restitution and reparations, the hell we look like giving you our vote for nothing. No, you're going to do what we tell you to do. And we, family, are not going to make excuses for them when they've shown us that they can give trillions of dollars buying through the Federal Reserve on the back end, buying through by the billions of an official bailout, and we didn't make them pay that. They're giving hundreds of billions of dollars. It's inching closer and closer by the day to $1 trillion or more for the white Nazi Ukrainians. The Asian community under the Democrat Party. We were able to give them in 1 year's time multiple millions of dollars that was already in the government without the need for legislation. They just redirected millions of dollars to the Asian community because they claimed that they were experiencing racism during COVID. The Asian community who did not build America, who were not enslaved, whose land wasn't stolen, they got a hate crime bill, protection bill for them. We're still waiting for that. All of the stuff that's happening in the domestic political realm and the geopolitical global realm has everything to do with what I'm going to be talking about come August 8th. The reason why I wanted to do it on that day is because it is a spiritually auspicious, it's a spiritual auspicious day to where the celestial bodies are doing something special. So we're going to hold court with them and the ancestors. I'm already preparing for it. You don't want to miss this information that I'm going to share with you on how you can turn your home into a portal. What? A portal of power for you and your household first. And then ultimately, how we can wield power in the world around us. Talk Black to me. Click that free link. For those of you that are watching me right now on YouTube, VickiDillard.tv, click that free link that's pinned. And if you're watching me later, it should be pinned in the comment section. So it should be pinned in the chat and it should be pinned in the comment section after this is over. Do not miss it. I don't want to hear no excuse. I don't care what you got going on. I don't care what you got going on. Birthday, holiday, anniversary. You better go to lunch and brunch. If you want something you never had, you got to do something you've never done. Now, let me keep going. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Now, let's talk about this. What are we talking about today? What did I say? Do y'all see what I titled today's broadcast? Family, what am I talking about today? God, today. Do y'all know what Vicki talking about today? I play too much, don't I? I play too much. Y'all, if y'all been with me for a long time, y'all know for the past few years, I've been using this little meme, this little picture. Y'all know I don't mock nobody's looks, right? Unless you show yourself to be an enemy to Black folks, then, I treat you like an enemy all together. But you all know I don't talk about nobody's looks, because I'm very sensitive to stuff like that, especially people's health and stuff, because I know all about that, overcoming illnesses that are very serious and stuff. But you all know that when you show yourself to be an enemy to Black folks, I'm going to show you who you are in the spirit. Now, if you got children, or even if you're grown up, the image I'm getting ready to show you right now is very disturbing. So, it's not pornography, no. It's not even a violent picture, but it's a kind of violence. It's a type, it's offensive. What you laughing at, Nikki? Nikki, I hadn't even showed it yet. What you laughing at, G. Hagen? Hagen, I haven't even showed it yet. What are y'all in here laughing for? I haven't even showed y'all nothing yet. Who is this? Talking about hurricane, talking about brace yourself. I'm done with y'all. I hadn't even shown nothing yet. I haven't even shown nothing. Stop. Quit playing with me. I'm not playing with y'all. Mods, get these people. I see you, Tropical Punch. Why y'all playing with me? Now, y'all know I do not believe in just unnecessarily making fun of nobody unless they are enemy. But I want to show you there's two different people I'm going to be talking about today. I'm going to talk about the spiritual Joy Reid. I'm going to talk about the natural Joy Reid. Then I'm going to talk about the spiritual joyless Reid. Quit laughing. Y'all messing up my flow. Now, there's a Joy Reid. That's the one lady. Then there's the joyless Reid. Now, I got a picture of her in the natural. Then I got an image of her in the spirit realm. Y'all ready? Brace yourself. If you got babies, turn them away for about 3, 4, 5, 6 seconds. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Let everybody know. Say, look, Vicki is talking spiritual. I'm showing you in the realm of the spirit. I'm not playing with you, Antonio. I'm not playing with you, Ronald. I'm not playing with none of y'all up in here. I haven't even shown nothing yet. Dang. Boy, why you got them skeletons in here? Family, This is what we're discussing today. You got to understand where we are in the spiritual realm. I'm a deeply spiritual person. Don't mess with me. Now, this is what I see in the spirit realm when I think of joy. We got our joy. I just dropped my hat. We got our joy. Y'all ready for it? Let me try it again. Hold on. Y'all ready? Hold on. Here we go. We got joy, and then we got joyless. Now, the joy is the real joy. The other one is the joyless. This is who she is in the spirit realm. When she go to doing all that raccooning and that mammying, this is her mammying. Joyless. This is how I see. Hold on, here we go. This is how I see joyless for the mammification of it all. We don't see. This is no. That's what that is. That's a no. We got the joy. Then we got the joyless. This is her in the spirit realm. Virgil, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. We got the joy. Then we got the joyless. Joyless is the LOM. For those of you that don't know, I created the phrase LOM, L-O-M, some years ago. That stands for League of Mammies. The League of Mammies is a specific group of Black women that the powers that shouldn't be, the white supremacists and white supremacy use certain Black women in particular for certain positions to come against their own people and to support white supremacy. Y'all know I got my own group for men. When I deal with Roland Martin, y'all already know to put the basketballs in the chat. He has his own special shucking and jiving. He's a different kind of species altogether. He emerged from a river somewhere. I'll tell you that story later. I always have to repeat the stories because some of y'all don't know the history of some of these different kinds of entities that we deal with. That end up being enemies to our people. So we got joy. This is joy in the regular on earth. And then we got joyless. That's her in the spirit realm. This is her being an enemy to Black people. Now, joyless, that spirit that pop up out of her, that energy that needs to be, what's the word? What's the word? What's the word? Exorcised. The one that we need to do an exorcism on is the joyless. Now watch this. What am I talking about today, family? Y'all look at this. Look at this. So, before I'm not going to read the article yet. Watch this. This is under the Copyright Act of 1976. This clip, family. I want y'all to hear her real fast. This is the clip. I should have one ready here. Hold on, let me get my sound right. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share. You have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't Black. So now MSNBC's... Okay, watch this. Now, this is a clip from Fox News. Y'all know Fox is racist. They got their own reasons for showing this, but this image is correct. When they show this clip of Joe Biden when he dog walked Charlemagne the God some time back, leading up to the previous presidential election. Y'all remember when Joe Biden said this to Black folks, when Charlemagne was asking him when he was talking to him about Black folks, and Joe Biden told him that we ain't Black if we don't vote for him, if we vote for Trump. If you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump, and you ain't Black. The chief Klansman of all time in modern history sits there and tell us we ain't Black if we don't vote for him. And joyless in them don't have no problem with that. Joyless and Rolanda Martina don't have a problem with that. Do you all understand that I know that Donald Trump is a devil? You're not going to see me caping for him at all. Anybody that advocates the execution of my brothers, you're not going to get me caping for you. Anybody whose bloodline is straight up Ku Klux Klan, and you still moving in that energy, you're not going to get me to cape for you. That ain't what Vicki finna do. Virgil, your gift again is blessed 1,000-fold. But equally, Jim Crow Joe Biden is a devil. The problem I have with joyless in them is that they can quickly talk about what a devil Donald Trump is, and he is. But the fact that you can't admit that for Jim Crow Joe Biden is what is why you're really a problem. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Now watch this. I got to remind you of this clip again, but we're going to go further with joyless because before we do this exorcism real fast. Remember?
Do you have a problem figuring out whether you're for me or Trump and you ain't black?
So now I need y'all never to forget that. And Joy doesn't have a problem with that. D.L. Hewley doesn't have a problem with that. Marilyn Mosby, who just avoided prison time, she don't understand that. Your LGBTQ Haitian press secretary, who still has Vicki Dillard blocked on a couple of her personal social media platforms. Why does your current press secretary still have Vicki Dillard blocked? I'm going to ask y'all again. Why does the current press secretary, who speaks on behalf of the United States, still have little old Vicki Dillard blocked on a couple of her social media platforms? Tamika Mallory has me blocked on some of her social media platforms. Amanda Seals has me blocked on some of her social media platforms. D.L. Hewley blocked me when my brother RZA defended me. He blocked me. Like, what kind of weak, juicy, dewy stuff is that? You don't block him, but you block me. Ain't that some crazy stuff? Sabrina, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. You got some of your celebrities that got me blocked. You got the Griot that's got me blocked. You got Essence Magazine and Essence Fest that got me blocked. Make this make sense. Ollie, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. What's that girl who used to be on The View? What's the white girl's name who's the daughter of a war criminal? Megyn Kelly. Meghan McCain. How many of y'all know the white girl Meghan McCain? The daughter of a war criminal. Her daddy done passed away by now. He was running for president too. Y'all know McCain, John McCain. How many of y'all know that when she was on The View, she got mad at me because I defended Tamika Mallory in one of my broadcasts when I was on one of the other networks. I did such an effective broadcast going off on her for disrespecting Tamika. Can you imagine? I was defending Tamika Mallory. I did broadcasts on defending Tamika Mallory because the girl dog walked Tamika on The View. She made Tamika look crazy. So I did a broadcast defending Tamika. She was basically calling Tamika anti-Semitic and stuff. They was throwing up the Nation of Islam and Farrakhan types. I mean, they made Tamika look crazy. They was dog walking her. Girl, I had to run out fast and do a broadcast. And I was so effective in my broadcast against Meghan McCain. Meghan McCain saw it, y'all, and she blocked. But I did keep connecting her to being the seed of a war criminal. So, which is totally true. God, today, Lisa, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Lisa's one of my day ones. Watch this. Family. So you got to ask yourself, these are just a few people that I'm thinking off the top of my head. So why are publications blocking Vicki? Why are haters coming after me? Celebrities, political folks, all this stuff, right? Family, let me tell y'all something. We're more powerful than you know. And you better stop looking at power just based on who's on cable TV. You better quit trying to give credibility to that which is dead, dying, and on life support. Karen, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Family, please don't get offended if I miss your gifts. One of y'all commented the other day, I gave a super chat and she didn't even call up. Family, I'm focused on giving y'all this word. You got to know, you got to give for the right reason. You got to know that everybody that gives the Vicki Spirit sees it, and your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold, okay? Thank y'all so much with your precious self. Uh-oh, can y'all see me? I can't see nobody now. Okay, now it came back. My screen came back. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share. Vicki, get to where you're going. Y'all watch this. Now, that was the beginning of this clip. That's not what I wanted to show you. Watch what Joy said the other day when she was on, was it her TikTok? I think it was, because I saw different videos, y'all. But I got y'all this video because it was convenient and it was accurate. Watch this. Watch this. Listen to what Joy said about the black community. If we don't vote for Kamala Harris. Watch this.
You're going to look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color, but really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely on that side.
Joyless. You are not in any position to tell anybody they look crazy. Joyless. You should, baby, you're the last worst person on the planet who should ever say anybody is going to look crazy and weird. Joyless. You are the last one on the planet Joyless. I know some of y'all like, Vicki, please quit torturing us. Just give me one more second. I might show you one more time. But I'm going to pull back now because that is a lot. That's a lot to take in. I understand. So I'm sorry. I apologize. If you got babies, please tell them Auntie Vicki is so sorry. Watch this. Joyless, joyless. Y'all probably missed what she said. Let's go back to what she said. Listen again. Joyless. 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 Let's hear what she said again. She thinks she got authority. She thinks we're actually listening to her. She thinks that we actually care. Right? William, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold.
Weird if they don't vote for Kamala Harris. So watch this.
You're going to look real crazy being on the other side of that line, particularly as a person of color. But really as anyone who claims to have any connection to the culture. You're going to look real weird and real lonely on that side.
Family,
So
isn't this crazy? Do you see how the Democrats try to shame us? They're not even talking about Kamala's policies. They're not talking about her actual record. They're not talking about the actual evidence. And we don't even need to get into how she cosplays the culture. We don't even have to get into the fact that half the time she doesn't even identify as Black. We don't need to even get into any of that. All we have to deal with is the facts. And joyless, that which is spiritual and unseen and needs to be exorcised. That spirit pops out because that's that spirit. The spirit that's talking. The spirit that's talking. The spirit that's talking. Telling us that we're going to look weird. Which one is it, family? Multiple choice. This is multiple choice. Which spirit just jumped out and told us that we're going to look weird? Joyless is in no condition, no position to be talking about no weird and crazy looking. No, we know what crazy looking is. Now, Vicki, move on. Watch this. We're tired of the shaming tactics. Lisa, stop playing, Lisa. We're tired of the shaming tactics. Why y'all laughing? What is that? Fifths and guns. Nook. Why y'all playing? Stop, Chase Browder. I don't see no words in the chat, just emojis. Watch this. We're not, that dog don't hunt. This joy, we're not listening to spirits. Spirits that jump out like this. That tell us we're going to look weird, we'll take your word for it. When spirits like this come out to say you're going to look weird if you don't vote for Kamala, we take that as a sign of doing what's right. When them spirits talk, we say, oh, we on track. We destiny. This the will of the gods and goddesses. This is the fates. We on the path of righteousness. Whenever a spirit like that jump out and say, looking weird, we say, oh my God, this is, I was born for this. It's destiny. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, share. I'm not going to be before you long, family, but I will be strong. We're not going to go there with a bunch of other stuff that we can just talk about Kamala in a superficial way. But family, y'all know I got to give the receipts. You better be following me on Instagram. Follow me on Instagram at Vicki X Dillard. That's VICKI Dillard. I've been posting this over the past back-to-back several days. This is a piece from the American Prospect. This is from a few years ago because we got to do receipts because ninjas want to play. What does this headline say, family? What does this headline say? Family, we got way more people in here than we have thumbs up. Y'all hit that thumbs up button. Watch this. We got to go do receipts. Now, this is from a few years ago. This piece was written in 2020. How Kamala Harris fought to keep nonviolent prisoners locked up. Now, notice. Look what the Bone and Biscuits are coming out doing now. Look, the bootlegs, this is what the bootlegs is doing now. The bootlegs are pushing this narrative. Y'all said She locked up thousands and tens of thousands. First of all, it wasn't maybe one or two people that said specific numbers. Most of us talked about the thousands whose lives she affected with her policies in general. And a lot of us began to just talk about the fact that she was advocating policies that had the potential to affect so many of us and that disproportionately affected Black folks. So family, don't let them throw you in a trick bag because they technically proved that it wasn't on this one policy over there, this specific number of people. See, that's what the bootlicks are doing now. They throwing out all these videos now. They're throwing out all this footage now saying, well, it wasn't really that many. Family, don't let them pull you into stuff like that. Stay focused. What do we need to stay focused on? Here's one thing we need to stay focused on. One thing we need to stay focused on is the fact, as this piece discusses, look at this headline. As California Attorney General, she spent years subverting a 2011 Supreme Court ruling requiring the state to reduce its prison population. Tell somebody, y'all don't even need to talk numbers on that. Had she been successful, she would have affected even more lives than she already did. Keep that in mind. The overseeing judicial panel nearly found the state in contempt of court. Vicki give details. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. That's right, Aquarius. Talk to her. Aquarius said we got well over 1,000 people. We got over 1,230 some people up in here, and we don't even have nearly enough thumbs up at this point. Everybody hit that thumbs up button. Share, share, share. Listen, Senator Kamala Harris, a leading candidate to be Joe Biden's running mate, this was a few years ago, repeatedly, are y'all listening? And openly, let me say those two words again. Kamala Harris repeatedly and openly defied the U.S. Supreme Court orders to reduce overcrowding in California prisons while serving as the state's attorney general, according to the legal documents reviewed by the prospect. Working in tandem with Governor Jerry Brown, don't y'all forget these receipts. Working in tandem with Governor Jerry Brown, Harris and her legal team filed motions that were condemned by judges and legal experts as obstructionist, bad faith, nonsensical, at one point even suggesting that the Supreme Court lacked the jurisdiction to order a reduction in California's prison population. The Empress speaks, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. That's right, Precious. She said, we good, love, enjoy. That's what we say about the shenanigans of the bootlicks. Love you, sis. I love you back, Precious. I love you back, sis. So whenever they try to get y'all off to talk about one thing she did when she was keeping prisons behind bars over a drug thing, they say, well, technically, it was only 1,900 and something, which is 2,000. That's still almost a couple thousand people just for that one policy. So they try to get you in a trick bag. That's what a devil does. But they don't want you to talk about the number of people that she would have been responsible for had she been successful keeping behind bars in prison. They don't talk about the impact of her advocating jailing parents for truancy laws. But if you talk about a specific plan that had to do with one particular drug thing, and you can show she directly affected the lives of about 2,000 people, and then they'll say, y'all said it was tens of thousands. Her overall policies would have affected the thousands of tens of thousands, likely, of Black folks. But you don't even need to get into the numbers. Let's just stay with the receipts. Are y'all listening? I'm giving you talking points. Now, every time the Democrats tell y'all how devilish the Supreme Court is because of the conservatives on the court, which they are devilish in a lot of ways, don't forget, she defied the Supreme Court when she was the Attorney General of the state of California, when they told her to reduce the prison population. Let me ask you, family, how often do you find the Supreme Court or any court issuing an order directing a prison or a jail to reduce its population? In the rare instance that they did that, she was Attorney General of the state of California, and she and her office, she and her legal team, along with that Governor Jerry Brown, defied the Supreme Court, who was trying to reduce the prison population. So y'all see how the bootlicks are out there trying to tell you on the drug laws? No, she did. It wasn't tens of thousands. Don't let them get you in no trick bag. We got too many other receipts to show you how diabolical her policies were. And it wasn't just a drug policy. Listen, I'm going to read this part again. What did she do? She openly and repeatedly, repeat after me, class, say Kamala Harris, openly. That means she wasn't hiding it. And repeatedly. The reason I'm emphasizing the fact that she did it openly and repeatedly is because I want you all to see that her policies, she meant it. She believed in those diabolical anti-Black policies. I'm calling them anti-Black because they would have disproportionately affected us. So now when she comes out with something different, I want you to understand she believed in this. That's the reason why we say she ain't like us. That's why we say, yes, we believe you when you said that you Indian. We believe you. And no, you don't get to talk about that time that you went to an HBCU. How many of you all know that there are other cultures, and including some white folks, that are known for going to HBCUs? And especially those that have immigrant backgrounds, because getting into those schools were easier. You don't get a black card because you went to HBCU. When that was a trick bag that your immigrant parents knew to get to direct you in, likely. That don't count for nothing. How y'all sit up there talking about she went to an HBCU? Roland went to an HBCU, but he ain't from here. He emerged from a river somewhere. Talk black to me. All the bootlicks that we dog and call sellouts, a lot of them go to HBCUs. That don't count for nothing. We call all them sellouts, mostly, them boulets. So how we going to turn around and let that be a sign of blackness when we mock them, all the other ones that go to the black schools? Y'all better come up off of this and use your brains. Y'all know we always talking about the boule and mocking the actual deeply melanated ones. That ain't no sign of blackness. That's almost a sign, that might be a sign of something else. Thumbs up, thumbs up. Listen, if you're just coming in, family, be sure to watch the entire broadcast, and do not forget, family, make sure that you register for Thursday, August 8th. That is known as a highly auspicious and favorable day. That's known as Lionsgate. I'm gonna tell you exactly what Lionsgate represents, but I'm letting you know that the reason why I'm holding it that day is because I want you to receive that spiritual power that comes from the auspiciousness of that day and the planets that we're working with, as well as the word that I'm going to give you that I've channeled from the spiritual realm to give to you on how you can turn your house into a divine portal. Click that link. It's free. I said it's free. Click the link that's pinned above. I'm doing it in the evening time, so as many of you as possible can attend. Don't tell me I work on Thursday nights. I'm telling you now, take off. I don't care what it is. You weren't born to just work. The information I'm going to share with you has the power to change your life, your legacy, and your household. Watch this. What did I just say? I said that she repeatedly and openly defied the U.S. Supreme Court orders to reduce the overcrowding in California prisons. How many of you all know, before I move further, how many of you all know that if you openly define releasing folks from prison, how many of you all know that you're the #1 enemy to Black people? If you would actually openly and repeatedly for years fight a court that tells you to reduce a prison population, how many of you all know that you are the #1 enemy for Black folk? The reason we say that, the reason I say that, is because when you're someone that's an attorney general of a state, when you're someone that deals with the legal realm, that means, beloved, that you're entrusted with a level of power to control the freedom of someone else's life. That means that she was controlling whether or not families would be reunited. Do you all know that she had everything to do with determining whether or not somebody's baby, whether or not somebody would see their mother or their father again? She had the power to determine whether or not somebody would be able to start a new business. What if somebody else's child was adopted? Or the state had to keep them because their mother or their father was in prison and they didn't have another family, friend, or loved one, or guardian that they could trust to take care of them. Kamala fought to keep them in prison. I'm emphasizing that she what? Publicly, openly, and repeatedly fought the course. That means she believed in what she was doing. I got lipstick all on my teeth. That means it wasn't a one-off. Are y'all listening? What did it say? The legal documents showed what? Harris and her legal team filed motions that were condemned by who? Judges. Are y'all listening? This is serious. Kamala was so anti-Black, using a Democrat label, that even judges, it says, and what? Legal experts considered her to be an obstructionist, bad faith, and nonsensical. Baby, you doing something when you can get a judge and get other legal experts to call you an obstructionist, nonsensical. Are y'all listening? Don't forget, her office went so far as to suggest, that the Supreme Court didn't even have jurisdiction to order them to reduce the prison population. Baby, we know she ain't Black if you got that kind of energy. I'm talking about your energy being Black. Now, baby, you from over there where they got a caste system. When you can come over here and make such a suggestion. That's an affront. That's traitorous to Black folk. To drive us back on the modern plantation. Are y'all listening? I'm reading you from an article. Some of the stuff I'm talking about are things that you can verify from a receipt from court. I'm not giving you just anything. This ain't my first time discussing this kind of stuff. It says the intransigence of this legal work resulted in the presiding judges. Are y'all listening? The intransigence, or how stubborn and rebellious Kamala and her team were. The intransigence of this legal work resulted in the presiding judges in the case giving serious consideration. Are y'all ready? To holding the state in contempt of court. So the judges didn't just think it was a bad idea what Kamala and them was doing. They didn't think it was just a one-off. They thought it was such an affront to their authority that they gave serious consideration to holding Kamala Harris and her legal team in contempt of court. These are the receipts you need to be discussing. Don't let people get y'all off on no trick bag with other conversations. Yes, her drug policy was devilish. Yes, they're trying to tell you, oh, it wasn't technically tens of thousands. It was just a couple thousand. Don't let them throw y'all off. This was demonic. Even Republicans weren't doing some of this stuff. Do y'all understand? Listen. Observers worried that the behavior of Harris's office had undermined the very ability of the federal judges to enforce their legal orders at the state level. Y'all better listen. Pushing the federal court system to the brink of a constitutional crisis. These are the receipts that joyless, not joy, joyless. Y'all don't want me to show you that picture that come up out the spirit realm. Told Black to be somebody. Watch this. Y'all listening? This extreme resistance to a Supreme Court ruling was done to prevent the release. Are y'all listening? This extreme resistance. See, I think y'all think I'm making this up. So, Vicki, you got to make it real big and bold, this particular part of the article. Take a screenshot of this right now so you don't think I'm making this up. Y'all screenshot this, please. What does it say? What does it say? The intransigence of the legal work resulted in the presiding justice in the case giving serious consideration to holding the state in contempt of court, right? I'm skipping. this extreme resistance to the Supreme Court ruling, make it real big, Vicki. Do y'all see a number right there? Do y'all see a number in this section of the article that I'm making real big? Does anybody see a number in there? If you see a number, put the number in the chat. If you see a number, put the number. Okay, thank you. Somebody didn't put the number in the chat. Somebody put 5K in the chat. Watch this. What does it say? This extreme resistance to the Supreme Court ruling was done to prevent the release of fewer than 5,000 non-violent offenders whom multiple courts, are y'all listening, had cleared as presenting next to no risk of recidivism or threat to public safety. Kamala Harris. This is separate from her drug policy that they keep trying to tell y'all when y'all say it affected me. Y'all talk about her drug policy affecting thousands. Now they're trying to tell you, oh, it was only a couple thousand. About directly. Now we know some of that's lies too. But let's just go with it. What about her policy and the possibility of what could have affected the families of parents that were in prison if that policy wasn't rescinded? What about this if the courts had not gotten her butt about defying their orders to release prisoners? Who does that? What attorney general fights the Supreme Court and refuses to release prisoners when the highest court said to do it, and when the lower courts and the lower judges had completely cleared specific folks of almost zero chance of recidivism, which means returning repeatedly back to prison or to jail, and on a threat to public safety? Who does that? You got to be some kind of a demon. You got to be some kind of a diabolical, low vibrational entity. You got to be a spirit that's bowed on this order. To reject that. I want y'all to know how serious this woman is. How terrible she is. The article goes on. I'm almost done, but I just had to give y'all some receipts because y'all out here letting these bootlegs twist you up. No, we got receipts. Don't even get into all that other stuff with them. Just give them these receipts. Despite a straightforward directive from the Supreme Court to identify prisoners for release over a 2-year period, upholding a 2009 ruling that mandated the same action over the same timeline, the state spent the majority of that period seesawing back and forth between dubious filings and flagrant disregard. Do y'all know how serious that is when the court says this about you? When they put you in contempt of court, they're telling Kamala that she's using the law to break the law. Do y'all see how I did Vicki Dillard legal law school right there? This Vicki Dillard legal law school. See, I got the dictionary. I got my own book, my own dictionary, my own book of words, and I got my own legal school. And I got a thing called Vicki Planet, which means I got my own spiritual school and university. My authority comes from elsewhere. By early 2013, it became clear that the state had no intention to comply. Y'all better listen. Leading to a series of surprisingly combative exchanges. While Harris's ultimately unsuccessful presidential campaign saw questions raised about her criminalization of truancy and her tough on crime reputation during her time as San Francisco's district attorney, her role in California's prison reduction case largely flew under the radar. Somebody say not for the real black media. Someone say not for the black grassroots media. For joyless That spirit of Joyless. The spirit of Joyless. The D.L. Hewlett spirit. The Steve Harvey spirit. Those kind of spirits. The Charlemagne the fraud spirits. All them that's backing her and that dogs us for thinking intelligently. Somebody said, preach, Vicki, preach. You know, that's all I know what to do. I'm just giving y'all the talking points. Don't let them put you in no trick bag with no other conversation. You don't even need to get into her Indian background. Don't go there. Just do this. Just give them this. Watch this. It's treason. That's right. This is treason. Treason. Watch this. I'm going to read this part again because I'm scared that y'all miss this. It says, but this is really the point I was making earlier when I talked about a number of different anti-Black policies. She said, see, that's what we forgetting. It ain't just one thing. One of her drug policies could have affected. No, this woman is crazy. She meant this anti-Black disposition she had about us. She advocated several policies that would have disproportionately affected us if most people didn't stop her in her tracks. Kamala didn't end up being as horrible as she really is because the courts had to threaten her with contempt of court. The truancy law, she had to be humiliated out of that. Do y'all get this? While Harris's ultimately unsuccessful presidential campaign, this was when she ran the first time. That's how old this article is. Saw questions raised about her criminalization of truancy. That's the one issue. That's another issue. And her tough on crime reputation during her time as San Francisco's district attorney. So you all don't get them twisted. Remember, she was district attorney of San Francisco. That's just one smaller region. When you're the attorney general, that means that you have authority in the state of California. Did y'all catch that? Remember, she was in power on a more local level. Where? In San Francisco, right? During her time as district attorney. She went from district attorney over just San Francisco to what? The state's attorney general over the whole state. Don't forget, there were multiple policies, and I'm trying to show you she had a long history of anti-Black policies, no matter what her position. This article talks about the fact that her role as California, this article talks about the fact, it says her role in California's prison reduction case largely flew under the radar. No, it did not with Vicki Dillard. Go back and look at my records, baby. I was talking about this years ago. Though it was decried at the time. As concerns grow about Donald Trump's subversion of the law, this was years ago, he, along with his Attorney General William Barr, is currently defying a Supreme Court ruling by refusing to restart the Deferred Action for Childhood Arrivals program. The potential Democratic vice presidential nominee engaged in relatively similar obstinacy is jarring. This is what we remind you of. Just like they was dogging Trump, and just like we was dogging his Attorney General at the time, right? Don't forget what Kamala did when she defied multiple courts, multiple judges, and the Supreme Court. In the rare instance where a court ruled that they must reduce the prison population, you had a state's attorney general out of so-called liberal California defy the courts for years, defied them so much that the courts were given serious discussion about holding her funny-looking foreign self in contempt of court. Don't forget that. These are the receipts that we need to discuss. At the time of this article from 2024, almost 4 years ago, from 2020 rather, at the time of this article, her office had yet to respond to the prospect. This was the publication that put this out. Her office hadn't even responded yet. Watch this. The article goes on to say, How did Harris's office turn a simple court order to release low-risk prisoners to prevent cruel and unusual punishment into a constitutional fiasco? I want y'all to use that word when it comes down to Kamala. I want you all to use that legal phrase when it comes down to Kamala. What legal phrase, Vicki? Use the phrase that Kamala's resistance to complying with the court's order to release prisoners was meant to reduce cruel and unusual punishment. Do y'all know that's a constitutional protection? Kamala was enforcing cruel and unusual punishment. Are y'all catching this? Aren't I giving y'all some good talking points? I ain't gonna never let them put us in no trick bag. It says the federal court seldom look to prisoner release. It's a remedy of last resort. I'm going to say that again. Federal courts seldom look to prisoner release. It's a remedy of last resort. Do y'all see how serious this is? But California was a unique case with this uniquely awful prison system, the article says. At its height, it was stuffed with some 200% of its design capacity. Somebody said that's cruel and unusual punishment. And specifically for nonviolent, absolutely low risk prisoners that the courts determined was low risk. Watch this. There were not enough beds or medical personnel, but an extreme excess of bodies. I got to drive this point home because I got to show you all just how diabolical this woman is. And remember, she obstructed the courts, her team, and them obstructed for years. Are y'all understanding this? There were not enough beds or medical personnel. Y'all hit that thumbs up button, share, share, share. In one prison, are y'all listening? 54 prisoners shared a single toilet. I'm not finna keep moving on because y'all gonna sit up here and act like this was just normal. Did y'all hear what I said right there? Let me clear my throat, family. Did you all hear what I said right there? In one prison, 54 prisoners shared a single toilet. Preventable deaths due to substandard and overstretched medical care occurred every 5 to 6 days. I'm not about to read nothing else. I want y'all to take in what I just said. Her office was aware of all of this. Why do you think that the Supreme Court of the United States ordered the release of prisoners? Take in what I'm saying to you, Black family that's watching the Vicki show. Do you see why it's important for you to support Vicki Dillard? Because cable ain't talking about this. They're sitting here trying to shame you and tell you, what did Joy Reid say? You gonna look crazy and weird. I'm gonna say it again. Preventable deaths. Y'all missed what I said. Preventable deaths due to substandard and overstretched medical care occurred every 5 to 6 days. Suicidal inmates. I'm trying not to get emotional right now, family. Some of y'all don't know my story. How many of y'all, some of y'all know that Vicki, your sister with curly braids, was in the belly of the beast for years in a Texas federal prison. And my labor for much of that time was used for the federal government. I worked for the U.S. military. That's how I became a master landscaper, driving around somebody's John Deere. And I was real good at it. It was bad that I was good at it. I'm trying not to get emotional, but I need y'all to understand how serious this is. When I was in the belly of the beast, when the staff, I ain't talking about I'm not talking about the jacked up inmates that I had to deal with. Those shenanigans are a totally different issue. The staff said about me that I was too powerful. Because I was a hell of a man. I was something to mess with when it came down to writing grievances. I didn't fool with them freaking staff members. Do you know that when I was doing some of my own legal work and trying to get information together, that they tried to prevent me from doing that? Do you know that they tried to charge me in prison for getting information so that I could properly provide for my appeals? Do you know that that bothered the staff to where they threatened to take commissary money and charge me for it because they felt Vicki Dillard was an inconvenience? So when I started writing grievances on their funny looking selves, that they started to plot against your sister with the curly braids while I'm in the belly of the beast. Not because I was messing with them stupid staff members, but because when they saw my legal work I was doing, they was obstructing it. And so because I was using the power of the pen in my brain, the staff members start to plot against me. That's a hell of a something right there, ain't it? I didn't just have to deal with no criminal. I wasn't just dealing with the courts. And a lot of them were coon, fat, chunky, Southern staff that was happy to have a prison job. Tropical Punch said, "You are amazing." Tropical Punch, thank you. Your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. Y'all listen. So yeah, this matters to me. When I was in the belly of the beast, when the staff members in the different departments were beefing, do you all know that at one time they stopped giving us sanitation items and cleaning items in order to fight with other staff organizations? Because they knew that that was going to call the inmates to start to criticize them and to start filing grievances against the staff. So in order to put pressure on them, they withdrew certain cleaning products from us so that we would intentionally start to fuss, so that when a deadline wasn't met, when they was beefing with another prison staff member, that's how they were able to get back at the staff members, by withdrawing cleaning products from us. I want y'all to think about that. You got some hell of a devils in that mug, boy. They couldn't get Vicki on doing no gay for the state stuff. Vicki wasn't licking nobody's nothing. My roommates thought I was a PO when they thought they was finna come up in here with that doing that gay for the state stuff. Y'all don't know nothing about that, do you? When they were mess with another woman when they normally wouldn't. But to get commissary and to get benefits, they would have little relationships. And then on that weekend, that you would see them kissing with that same mouth at the top bunk that they was licking and lapping something. That's that same, when they see their children and their husband, hey, baby. They was in the room with me. Trick, you better get your up out of here with that. Vicki be enforcing her own rules up in this mug. Forget what the prison rules were. You better get your up out of here. You ain't never gonna find nobody that ever said Vicki was doing. You ain't gonna find nobody that ever said Vicki was tweaking. You ain't gonna find nobody that said Vicki was trafficking commerce. You ain't gonna find nothing, baby. Man, I was something else, boy. I was something else. Ninja. Watch this. In one prison, 54 prisons shared a single toilet. Preventable deaths due to substandard and overstretched medical care occurred every 5 to 6 days. Suicidal inmates, are y'all listening? This makes me very emotional. Suicidal inmates were locked in telephone booth-sized cages for 24 hours at a time. James, Vicki, you my favorite. I will take you over to Boulay anytime. We're talking about Kamala Harris. She knew all of this was going on. That's the reason why the highest courts demanded that they release prisoners. It was over 200% capacity. What did I just tell you? If y'all don't forget, don't even remember, don't forget the fact that I said that in one prison, 54 prisoners had to share a single toilet. Forget that. Remember this part. Preventable deaths due to substandard and overstretched medical care occurred every 5 to 6 days. And Kamala knew it. This is what she was fighting against. This is what she wanted to stay intact. If you don't remember nothing else I said that she did, remember, suicidal inmates were locked in telephone booth-sized cages for 24 hours at a time. Ebony Vault said they were afraid of Vicki. You better believe they was afraid of me. And it was also my spiritual power because I was doing miracles right there in their face. Mariah, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. You better believe it. I was doing miracles. I was mad at the spirit realm. I have a legit testimony where I raised the dead. A legit testimony where multiple people was released from prison. But I'm still sitting there. I'm like, Spirit, get me out of here. The hell I look like praying for her, doing magic for her. She got 5 years off her sentence. Get me out of here. Legit. Check my record. Some of you devils and trolls out there that be trying to search for stuff. Ninja! Find out who was locked up with Vicki and see what they say. I'm giving you some homework. When you talking about pocket watching and stuff, pocket watch that. Go try to find staff and people that I was locked up with and get the testimonies and see if I be a liar. See if I be a liar. Do that for the record. See if any of that's true. Some of the people I've been locked up with have been in this very chat to sit there and tell y'all just who the hell I am. Oh, yes, they were. Some of them been on social media saying, I know that one right there. They know what's up. It's just that you don't. For nearly two decades, Republican and Democratic administrations essentially ignored the problem, despite constitutional protections for prisoners against cruel and unusual punishment enshrined in the Bill of Rights. Finally, in 2009, the federal district court found that no other plausible solution existed for getting the state to conform to a constitutionally reasonable standard than a forced prisoner release. An earlier pledge given before Harris's time to quickly build new prisons was not seen as credible, especially amid the Great Recession and California's limited finances. Did y'all catch that? In other words, they were sitting there advocating building new prisons to assist in this problem of people dying rather than release them. So because that was not plausible, they couldn't afford it. The court said, get them out of there. And Kamala fought tooth and nail and said, hell no. The district court mandated that the state enact a series of decarceration measures to reduce the prison population to 137.5% of its design capacity within 2 years. Are y'all listening? All of your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. The state appealed the district court ruling, and on May 23rd, 2011, the Supreme Court found in Brown versus Platter. I'm giving y'all receipts. Go research this. So when you see the Coonan D.L. Hewleys, the Coonan Joy Reids, these are the receipts I want you to give them when they tell us that we're going to look crazy and we're going to look weird for not supporting Kamala. Let me tell you something. I was one of the first ones to tell you all that it was plausible that she could possibly win and that she would run for presidency. I'm the one that gave you a legit scenario to where I could see that happening. So it doesn't matter to me who's going to ultimately occupy the White House because we're going to keep this pressure on. I'm simply letting you all know this is the stuff that we need to get out. No matter who takes office, I'm simply saying that we need to keep the pressure on and keep our issues front of center. That's why I'm bringing this up, to let you all know they're the same. And no, you're not going to ingratiate yourself to us, Kamala, unless you coming bowing down. And we're not just going to turn over our booty cheeks for you to politically, you know what us. That's what I'm saying. I was one of the first ones to tell you why I believe that it might be possible that Kamala would run and that the Democrats were up to something to put her, to kick Joe Biden out. So don't get twisted what I'm saying. I'm saying this is a reason we need to keep the pressure on her regardless to who or what. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Write this down. I want y'all to research this case law. That's what this is called. Brown versus Plata. Brown versus Plata. This is research that you can individually do. That California's prison system was in violation of its prisoners' Eighth Amendment rights. Despite its relatively conservative tilt, y'all better listen real close to what I'm talking to you about. Despite its relatively conservative tilt, what, Vicki? The court identified prisoner release as the most effective method for ending the state's constitutional violation in a timely manner. The verdict split 5-4 with conservative Justice Anthony Kennedy, write it down, joining the court's liberals. Upholding a lower court mandate, Kennedy wrote the majority opinion in the case, including an array of gruesome details from inside those prisons and condemning the state for facilitating, quote, needless suffering and death. Did I just tell you that Kamala was worse than a conservative? I just gave you receipts because Vicki don't talk for nothing. You had a conservative. They said that the court has a relatively conservative tilt and that it was one of the conservative that joined the liberal 5-4, wrote the majority opinion and said what? Kennedy wrote the majority opinion in the case, including an array of gruesome details from inside those prisons and condemning the state. That's condemning Kamala, the Indian lady. For facilitating, what does that quote say? Needless suffering and death. Screenshot this and tweet this to Kamala and every raccoon you know. A conservative justice wrote the majority opinion and said, condemn the state for facilitating what? Needless suffering and death. Repeat after me. He condemned the state, Kamala was the state attorney general, for facilitating needless suffering and death. Cecilia said, booyah. Kwame said, expose her, Vicki. Y'all know I'm gonna do what you do. Y'all see why the courts was considered me to be dangerous, don't y'all? Y'all see why federal authorities and other authorities was coming after your sister? That's how I move. And it's a spirit that guides me. I know stuff I don't know. And this is the type of information I want to share with you to begin to make your house into a portal so that you can begin to move in greater power and we can move collectively in power. That's why I told you, don't you dare miss my free webinar, August 8th. That's what I'm going to be sharing with you, some of those secrets on how we can collectively wield power together. Click that link and don't you miss it. August 8th, August 8th, August 8th. Y'all listen, I'm almost done. At that point, Kamala Harris had been the state's attorney general. It says at that particular point for 4 months representing California as its top legal officer. Listen, she was already there for 4 months representing him as the top legal officer, right? But the Supreme Court ruling would have been enacted on her watch. Every 6 months, the state would have to show it decreased its prison population in compliance with the threshold overseen by a 3-judge district panel. 167% of capacity by the end of 2011, 155% by June 2012, finally arriving at the target level of 137.5 by June 2013. It soon became clear that the state would hold out on complying with the judicial order. Did y'all hear that? 2011 passed with little progress made on the decarceration mandate. And by 2012, a report surfaced that proved the state actually intended. Y'all ain't ready. Y'all ain't ready. Just in case Kamala and them try to come and say, well, she didn't start this. I'm giving you dates and I'm giving you receipts to show you why she was still complicit and how she still wasn't complying even when it was on her watch. Y'all ready? Y'all ain't ready for this piece. Y'all ain't ready for this piece. Y'all ready for this piece? Y'all ready for this piece? Because I know they're going to come to y'all and tell y'all she didn't start this. We didn't say you started this. We said that you helped to facilitate it and your show was helping to end it until the courts came in. Guess what happened, y'all? Y'all, guess what happened? I said, guess what happened, y'all? I think y'all think I'm going to make this up. I got to make this part big too. Screenshot this part that I'm getting ready to read to you all. Somebody screenshot this part of the article that I'm getting ready to read. Y'all ready? Y'all ready? It soon became clear that the state would hold out. Jamaica, your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. It soon became clear that the state would hold out on complying with the judicial order. 2011 passed with little progress made. I read that already, right? By 2012, a report surfaced that proved, y'all hold on to your seatbelts. By 2012, a report surfaced that proved the state actually intended to increase the prison population. I know y'all saying, Vicki, you did not just tell us all of these things that was happening before Kamala got there, while Kamala was there. You not sit up here telling us that it's true that they didn't intend to comply with the previous order. You're not telling us that a report surfaced that showed that they intended to increase the prison population. You heard me right. Don't you let them trick you to make you think that Kamala didn't have nothing to do with that. Because that show what they're going to tell you. They're going to go to the beginning and say, well, she didn't facilitate the first part. I'm giving you all the receipts that you need to show you how she's complicit. '2012 report. In May of that year, Harris's office, y'all ready? Take a screenshot just in case they try to say, Vicki, y'all ain't finna get me on no technical nothing. Take a screenshot. Take a screenshot. See, that's why the powers that be don't like your sister. This is the kind of stuff, this is what I'm talking to you about. This is how I move in life, period, ninja. Take a screenshot of what I'm getting ready to read next. Y'all see that quote right there? What does the quote say? In May of that year, Harris's office. Whose office? Family, whose office? I said, whose office? Harris's office confirmed, I'm quoting, confirmed their intent not to comply with the order, but instead to seek its modification from 137.5% design capacity to 145%. A modification that was not permitted. The deadline for compliance was eventually extended to the end of 2013. Harris has been criticized on multiple occasions for fighting to keep people, including innocent ones, in prison. By April 2013, just 2 months from the initial deadline given in that Supreme Court decision, California still had 9,636 prisoners more than the court-imposed ceiling. I'm giving y'all receipts and numbers. I'm giving y'all receipts and numbers. Until your gift is blessed 1,000-fold. The state submitted a proposal that involved relocating inmates to fire camps to fight wildfires. Y'all remember hearing me fuss about how Kamala fought to keep people in prison so that prisons could fight fires for cheap. Y'all remember me talking about that years ago? Where are my day ones to tell the world that Vicki's lying right now? This Kamala. I said, this is Kamala. She kept this going deep and intended to increase the capacity. All this, especially toward the end, was on her watch. Watch this. The state submitted a proposal that involved relocating inmates to fire camps to fight wildfires and preventing out-of-state prisoners from being returned. But upon review, the 3-judge panel found that that still left California's prisons some 4,170 prisoners over the limit. After a series of back and forth, the 3-judge panel arrived at a solution. The expansion of, quote, good time credits for nonviolent offenders, shortening stays often by just a handful of months. Even the state's own expert witness had testified years prior that he did not oppose good time credit measures and that there was no correlation between length of stay and recidivism, meaning that the public was not at risk. Other states, Washington, Illinois, even tough on crime New York, had implemented these programs with success. The court found good time credits alone would do more than enough to close the gap and solve the problem for good. Some 5,385 inmates were eligible for release under good time credits. But Governor Brown, remember how I started the article off? How many of y'all know at the beginning of the broadcast, I said that Kamala is at work in tandem with who? Governor Brown, remember? Go back to the beginning of this broadcast. That's what I said, right? But Governor Brown, take a screenshot because I'm scared y'all ain't gonna believe me. I gotta give y'all receipts because I'm scared that y'all gonna let the bootlicks trick you. Take a screenshot of this part. What does the article say? But Governor Brown with who? Harris as his defense lawyer. Read it again. Read it again. Screenshot it again and again and again. But Governor Brown with Harris as his defense lawyer did not agree. Harris's office launched into a campaign of all-out obstruction, refusing to answer why they could not simply release low-risk, nonviolent inmates to conform to the Supreme Court's request. Quote, defendants offered no explanation. However, why they could not release low-risk prisoners early, the June 2013 ruling stated. But Harris's office did not stop there. Y'all, this woman is not from here. Hell no, she ain't like us, fool. But Harris's office didn't stop there. I know y'all thinking, how could she not stop at murder and death? I know y'all wondering that, right? How could she not stop at murder and death, right? Harris's office didn't stop there. Meaning having knowledge that folks was dying and she was fighting against this. Watch this. Instead, they claimed on behalf of the state that the Supreme Court had no jurisdiction to even request such a release, refusing to answer questions as to how they would implement the Supreme Court ruling and courting a constitutional crisis. That resulted in a stunningly sharp rebuke from the 3-judge district court panel in June of 2013 ruling. I got to stop, y'all. We'll be here all day. Do y'all know I got other articles lined up so I can talk to you about the truancy? Don't y'all know that I'm ready to show you the videotape from years ago where she bust out laughing, bragging about the fact that she was going to imprison parents, but that even her staff warned her? Did y'all know that Kamala's staff, some of her staff, disagreed with her policy of jailing parents? They knew that she also had an upcoming election coming up. They knew that was going to affect it, and whoever she was opponent against would use that against her. I got so many other receipts I wanted to share with you. I ain't got time. I got to go. But this is more than enough. This is enough. What I shared with you just now, without any other receipts that we'll be here all day for, to rebuke and to exorcise, not exercise, exorcise the spirit of joyless. So when the joyless spirit tells us we're going to look crazy for not voting for a woman that did not believe you should be released, even under murderous conditions, when the spirit of joyless try to jump out, when that spirit jump out, you better rebuke that spirit. Family, we're never going to get where we need to in life if we don't grow in our spiritual power so that we can really wield power on earth. Do not miss my August 8th. I'm going to give you practical solutions. I'm going to give you divine revelation, but I'm going to give you practical solutions on how you can turn your house into a divine portal so that you can have power to change your world and power to change the world. It is a highly auspicious day in multiple different spiritual systems and religions. I don't know what they're going to be doing on their day. God bless all of them. God has blessed all of them. But Vicki going to be holding her own court. And I know where I get my information if you implement the things in which I say, because I'm not getting it from me. That's why my work is so effective. It doesn't come from here. So if you want this practical information and this insight exactly why we're doing what we're doing to turn our houses into divine portals, let me get this lipstick off my teeth. Y'all know I'm into this real hard with all this lipstick on my teeth. Be sure to share this broadcast. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel here, VickiDillard.tv. Yes, you're going to still be able to see me on multiple other platforms, beloved, but this is where you can see me go live from time to time. Thank you all so much for tuning in. If you just tuned in, watch the entire broadcast. Make time. And most importantly, do not miss August 8th. The free webinar link registration is pinned at the top. or it'll be pinned in the comment section. My team will put it in there after this broadcast is uploaded. I'm your sister with the curly braids. Every one of you that gave. I don't care if it was 99 cents, $20, some of you $50. And I ain't gonna lie, over the past several weeks, y'all have been really giving. On my Cash Apps and PayPals, just know your gifts are blessed 1,000-fold. You cannot bless me and the work that I'm doing and mean well, and the divine spirit not bless you back in some way, form, or fashion. Thank you so much. I don't take it lightly. What we're doing matters here. What you're hearing matters here. What we're seeding in the earth, it matters, family. You make it matter. I'm your sister with the curly braids. I bow to you. You are my bliss. I can't wait to see you again.